Welcome back, everybody. Today we're here to talk about Fear the Walking Dead Season 6, Episode 16, the finale. We're going to be breaking it down, talking about it. I really did like this episode. You guys let me know in the comments down below. What did you think about the episode? Obviously, general spoiler warning in case you are not caught up with this show or you haven't seen the episode. Also, I wanted to mention that I didn't make too many Fear the Walking Dead videos leading up to this finale this past week, and I wanted to apologize for that because I know I even said I was going to do like a Q&A, but I didn't make any more Fear the Walking Dead videos just because there were spoilers going around, like major spoilers. So I didn't want to make any Fear the Walking Dead videos and have spoilers in the comments and potentially spoil it for people. So that's why I didn't make too many Fear the Walking Dead videos this past week. I know we talk about like predictions and theories and that kind of stuff, but I try to stay away from like confirmed spoilers. And you know the difference between like a theory that's going around and then, like spoilers. Because with spoilers, people usually say stuff like, oh, this was leaked on this website or something like that. So I try to stay away from that kind of stuff. So because of that reason, spoilers going around. So I didn't end up making too many Fear the Walking Dead videos this past week. And then also, if you are a fan of The Walking Dead, be sure to hit the subscribe button because we still have a lot of Walking Dead content coming up. Like talking about season 7 of the Fear the Walking Dead. And then also videos leading up to the season 11 premiere of The Walking Dead, which is coming out later this summer. So be sure to subscribe if you are a fan of The Walking Dead. But yeah, other than that, let's get into the video. Alright, so like I said, I really enjoyed this episode. I thought they did a really good job with all the characters because the characters did split up. So they told like little individual stories for all the characters and their perspective on the final moments before the nuke went off, and I thought all the characters and all their stories were interesting for the most part. Starting off with the opening minutes, I have to say the thing with Rachel, that was really heartbreaking. I'm not gonna lie, like I choked up watching that. The scene itself was really brutal. Her baby was there, and then also the score, the music was really sad. So all of that, all those elements coming together, I kind of got choked up watching that, and she had to make the decision. And, she's been a character who maybe hasn't had that much screen time, but she's been there since episode 1. And, her and Morgan had a really interesting bond. She named her baby after Morgan. So that whole scene was pretty heartbreaking and tough to watch. And then we had that title page that we have like every episode, like the little introduction. And this one was of Teddy. I haven't talked about those, introductions throughout my reviews really, but I just wanted to add it in now because I thought I thought Teddy's look like he really looked like a villain there. But I really did like what they did this season with the new title pages. I think I talked about it in the first couple of reviews, but then ever since I stopped. But I just want to say, since the season is over now, that I did really like those opening title pages that we had this season for Fear. So I guess we have to work a little backwards with this episode. So we saw at the end there that the CRM saved the group, and that's how the main group on the road got saved, which is really cool. I think the fact that they actually did that with the CRM, coming with the helicopter. I think that was Isabel in the helicopter, but yeah, that was a really cool touch they added. And not the first time we've seen the CRM save a group of people. I mean, yes, it's the first time we've seen the CRM save a group of people, but not the first time we've seen the CRM save somebody on the show. Obviously, Rick got saved, which is the big character. But in the beginning of the episode, we heard Daniel say he heard someone on the radio, and when he said that, I kind of started thinking like maybe the CRM is actually going to come help. And I'll be honest, I'd first thought this theory a while ago, and I thought that it would be like way too like ambitious. I didn't know if they were going to actually have the CRM like save a whole group of people. And so I was like, there's no way they're going to do that. But they actually did. So that was really cool. So when the group was on the road, like that main group with Daniel, things escalated really quickly. Like Daniel shooting Rolly, I did not expect that. Like that happened so quickly. And I was like super shocked. And then Riley got shot. And the whole episode was really like that. Like even with Dwight and Sherry, like they had that shootout with the people in the cellar. So this episode was pretty brutal and dark, right from the beginning. Like I just talked about that Rachel scene being super brutal and dark, and then Daniel shooting Rolly, like that just came out of nowhere. And they weren't holding back either with the gore and stuff like that. So this episode was pretty dark, I think. And then speaking of Dwight and Sherry, I got worried for them for a second because they were, they went to the cabin and they stopped running. Like everyone else was trying to find a place. They just went to the cabin, and I got worried for a second that they were, like something bad was going to happen to them. But luckily there was a cellar there and they ended up being safe, which was good. And when they were talking to each other and they were having that emotional scene, I was like, okay, like this is really going to happen to them. But luckily they both survived. And I don't know what's going to happen with their characters, story-wise, because they did find each other. They're not really thinking about Negan anymore, so we'll see what happens to them. I mean, I love Dwight and Sherry. I think they're both great characters, and I'm super glad they found each other this season. But other than that, they didn't have too much interesting stuff going on this season, so hopefully in season 7 they have something a bit more substantial. But they were really keeping to themselves this season. They were having the character character moments between each other. Nothing too grand, so hopefully we get something more in season 7 with those characters. And then we had Strand. He went and he found this place, some guy named Howard. We didn't learn too much about him. He was just someone there who Strand was talking to, and I have to say, well, first of all, I have to say that Strand's speech there at the end was like really, really great. And I wonder, I wonder what the aftermath of all this is going to be. Is he just going to regret what he did and apologize to Morgan and them? But all I will say is that I'm loving what they're doing with his character. Like, Strand is such an interesting character this season, even though he's doing things that you might not like. But the character itself is having a really interesting arc for sure. And right from the beginning of the season, with Virginia and now the and there's the beginning people, and then that speech at the end was really good. And I have to also say that Coleman Domingo is adding so much to his character because like I said, the writing for his character has been pretty good, but his performance is also really great. And his scenes are just so powerful, and a lot of it has to do with his performance. So hopefully they keep this up, with Strand, because he was really great this season. And then we had Morgan and Grace as well. And Morgan was trying to stop, what happened, which I was like, I mean, he let Riley and Teddy go, which if you watch my reviews from last week, I was complaining a little bit about that. I was like, that wasn't a really smart decision to let them go. And I was wondering if he just gave up, but then this episode we saw him trying to stop it. So that's still something very questionable, but, we just have to move on from it, I guess. But talking about Grace and Morgan themselves, yeah, such great scenes between them, such powerful scenes. Between them. I'm super glad they survived. I was honestly very, very worried there for a second. And then they heard baby Morgan there at the end, and they got out of the submarine and they found, the baby. And I thought it was such a great fitting for their story as well. So definitely excited to see more of them in season 7. So the majority of the characters did survive. I mean, we really didn't have any major characters die except Dakota and Teddy. And I'm going to talk about that scene with June, John, Dory, and Dakota in just a second. I'm not there just yet, but the majority of the characters did survive, which as a fan of the characters, yes, of course I'm happy, but I mean, I don't know, because they were building up to this huge moment, and a lot of the characters did survive. So I don't know, what do you guys think? Should they have had one major character die or what? I mean, they did kill John, though, in the middle of the season, so that also, I think, came into play. They wouldn't want to kill too many major characters, but I don't know. I don't want to get too nitpicky of it, but I was expecting, the disaster to be a lot worse than it was, is all I'm saying. And like I said, I am going to talk about that June and John Dory Sr. And Teddy and Dakota scene right now, because I really did like that as well. So seeing John Dory Sr., can I just say John Sr. Or Dory Sr., whatever, seeing him come up and point the gun at Teddy and have that showdown was something I think we've all been waiting for, because I think that episode where Dory Sr. got introduced had such a great setup for this moment because, yeah, he was talking about knowing Teddy since like the 70s, and it's like 50 years or something they've known each other. And, you know, they've had that history back then. So seeing that showdown come into play, even though nothing too major happened there, you know, it was Dakota was the one who ended up killing Teddy. Still, seeing the showdown was pretty cool. But yeah, Teddy got exposed. He was going to protect himself, which was like kind of insane because he was just sort of acting like that. You know, he was acting like he wanted to go out, but I don't know. That was kind of an interesting twist there because I was like, wow, this dude is a psychopath. I mean, I didn't need any more evidence to know he was a psychopath. He already had all those characteristics, but just seeing that last minute thing of him going to protect himself was just like a big wow moment. Like, this guy really, even in the final moments, you know, after you thought he's done it all, you know, he wants to kill everybody, which he does. He ended up lying to those people and was going to protect himself, which is kind of crazy to think about. So yeah, all I can say is that, you know, Teddy definitely is going down as one of the most insane villains we've had on this show. And I'm also really liking what they're doing with June's character. She's really turning into a really badass character for sure. Now, in terms of June and John Dory Sr. forgiving Dakota, I guess I understand because she's just a kid and they were more focused on Teddy. But I just wish we saw more there in order for that forgiveness to be warranted, right? But yeah, they didn't end up saving Dakota, so I guess maybe that's why they kind of skipped over that. But she did end up killing Teddy, which I guess was a redeeming, you know, characteristic for sure, or a redeeming factor there. And then, you know, the explosion took her out. And let me just say, that was also very brutal. So the whole episode was extremely brutal and dark. And then, of course, I want to give props to John Glover and Zoe Colletti, who played Teddy and Dakota, because both of them were terrific, and they both did such a great job this season. And then we saw June and John Dory Sr. there at the end. They went into that little bunker and they survived, which I'm super glad that John Dory Sr. survived, because I think he's a really interesting character. I mean, Keith Carradine is a great actor. And I was thinking that they were only going to have him for this season, but it looks like he's going to be in season 7 as well, which is great. You know, I think he's a great addition to the show, and I'm definitely excited to see more of him. So yeah, like I said, pretty good episode. I had little minor issues, you know, just here and there that I talked about, obviously, in the video. But they did such a great job making all the parts of the episode interesting, because like I said in the beginning, the characters split up, so they had to tell like little individual stories, and they were all great. But yeah, let me know in the comments down below, what did you guys think about this finale? This video is running a little bit longer than my videos usually run, so if you're listening to this, thank you, I appreciate that. But definitely let me know in the comments down below, what did you think about this episode, and what did you think about this season? I think season 6 was great. This is one of the best seasons, I think, of the show, and I'm definitely excited to see you know, the future of the show, and very excited for season 7. I'll be making a video probably talking about season 7, so be sure to stay tuned for that. But yeah, like I said, let me know in the comments down below, what did you think about the episode in this season. As far as this video goes, I am gonna wrap it up there, so hopefully you guys did enjoy. If you did, be sure to leave a like rating, and for more Walking Dead videos like this, be sure to subscribe. And as always, thanks for watching, please take care, and I'll see you guys soon.